Hello, I'm Deirdre Hade, and I am a mystic. And this week, we're talking about the truth and clarity of love. What is love really? We don't really know what love is until we have a clear experience of love. And how difficult is that? Many times, we fall in love, and then we wonder, was that really love? Was that a false love? Was that a real love? We get baffled by love. We get betrayed by love. We get let down by love. And then our human story, our human drama unfolds, and disappointment becomes our experience. We are now on a precipice of a great change, a great momentum in the history of humanity. We're seeing globally what the lie of love looks like, what false promises look like, what false beliefs look like. We are seeing the lie in front of us as we've never seen it before, because now we have the technology to be a global community. So where does that leave us in our path to awakening, in our path of transformation? Because truly, that is why you are here. You are here to transform, to become the potential that you were born with, the potential that is in the seed or the DNA of your existence. The dream that you cried out when you came out of the womb and started to scream, I am here, I have arrived. And then we spend the rest of our life grappling with this, trying to find our voice again, attempting to know who we are, and most importantly, our dream, our desire to find and know love. That's why this year is the year to reconnecting to love. But first we have to know what love is. There are many levels of love according to the Kabbalah. In the Kabbalah, there is the great love of the divine presence, the bliss, the oneness of all. And that love actually transcends your human experience. It is the state of oneness where the one are many and the many are one. This experience of being the one as many and the many as one is one of the most wonderful and fulfilling experiences of love. It is a very high state, a state of enlightenment, a state that we achieve when we're deep in meditation or have spent time in nature. But having been someone who touched that and experiences that and lives in that state, I can tell you this truth. It's still not enough. It's still not enough because I'm human. I'm a human being and you're a human being. So even experiencing that incredible place that the yogis talk about and the great prophets talk about, there is still the human longing for love, the human experience of love. And so I've come to really understand that to truly transform and to be an enlightened being in the 21st century, one must experience both of these loves, the divine love and also the human love. And to deny oneself of the other is like eating the cake but taking off all the frosting. You don't really get the full cake. Somewhere in our tradition over the past 2,000 years, the idea of the human love has not been exalted. It has been defamed and it has been smudged to be something less than the divine love. But if we are in fact divine beings, if we are in fact made in the image of God, then when we love one another, in that experience, in our humanness, that is too divine love, because that's who we really are. So love is a myriad of experience. It is like a sapphire or a gem, and each facet is beautiful. Sometimes you can step back and see the entire diamond and say, ah, yes, the one are many and the many are one. And then sometimes you're inside the diamond. And sometimes you're at one facet or you're at another facet. But they each make up the totality of the whole, or the Leela, the dance of life, which is love. So what is true love? Love in the human form is the love of clarity in consciousness between two individuals. Clarity of consciousness between two individuals, or three individuals, or four individuals. Clarity of consciousness is like clear water. It's a superconductor. It is a carrier of frequency, because love is a frequency. It is hard to put words on what love is. That's why the poets keep trying to write about love, and many poets do a wonderful job of it. But then when you experience love, there's no words to really put on that love. Human love, as divine love, can only exist in truth. But what is truth? That is the quest. That is the journey. I hope this year that we can take this journey together, this great journey to understanding and knowing what the truth of love is. Because each facet of this beautiful diamond of consciousness we call love has particles in it. Particles of misunderstanding, particles of confusion, particles of old patterns and stories that sabotage love, destroy love sometimes, or just dull the experience of love. So that brings us to the ego. So let's talk about the ego. Because the ego has its version of love too. Unfortunately, the ego's love causes betrayal, and the ego's love is based on a lie. That's the love that most of us know about. And so what happens when we're very young is this ego love gets placed into your brain, and it creates a neural net. It creates these super highways of patterning. So as you grow up, you think betrayal is love or abuse is love. And it doesn't have to be big abuse, like somebody getting beaten up. That's obvious. I'm talking about the little non-truth, the little lies of love, to where it's not in clarity and where it just slowly chips away at you every day until your life experience is dull, or you become bored, or you say, oh, what's the point? And I might as well not try that thing, because why bother? And that's exactly where the ego wants you to be, wants you to live in this. It's even written in the very first line of Genesis. So we go back to the Kabbalah again. So in the beginning of God's creating, on, and then we get to, and God created Yetzirah Tov, which is the light of goodness. And when day and night was split, when the energy was split into the polarities of this reality so that we could create, but then God created the Yetzirah, and the Yetzirah, translated from the Hebrew, means the inclination to evil. Not evil, the inclination, the potential for evil. And in this case, evil is from confusion. And confusion is non-truth and non-clarity. And from non-clarity comes fear. Because fear is at the root of every lie. Fear is at the root of every lie. And fear is the opposite of love. And fear is the end of that sentence. Yetzer hara, the inclination towards evil. The evil is fear. Not the fear that tells you to jump out of the way of a car. That's a healthy fear. Not the fear that says, don't go down that dark alley. That's a healthy fear. Fear that is evil is the fear that creates intolerance, violence, judgment. The fear of you cannot do what you were meant to do in this world. The control system, the massive control system that we're all living in right now, that is controlling how we think, where we drive, where we eat, how our minds are going to operate. That is the evil of fear. Because under fear is control. Control. And the ego is control. But controlling what? What is it? So when we sift it all down and we look at the ancient Kabbalistic texts, what we find, what we come to, all the way here at the bottom, the control is about controlling consciousness. It's about mind control. But why? Why is that so important? Why does the ego want mind control? Think about it. What is it? Why does the massive structure of control that we now have operating through the world, why does it want to control us? It wants control because when we believe it has control and we give it control, that seed of light, that God potential, the ability to create, the ability to transform, the ability to bring abundance to the world, the ability to feed every person, the ability to house every person and clothe every person, the ability for people to be free in a true democracy. All of that potential, if it's unleashed, the control system will cease to exist. It will fall apart. So it's fighting for its life right now. And we have a choice. We have a choice to choose the absolute clarity of love and to know what that really means, or to allow ourselves to be in the box of the control system. And then we lose our light. And then we lose our love. And then we lose our soul. So what do you choose? And where are you going this year? I say choose love. I say first know what love is. Thank you.